Welcome to Activations with JJ, July 2023 monthly energy update. In today's episode, you will see we have a big focus on all things galactic, and also some of us are experiencing stronger connections with the time of Golden Avalon. In addition, I'll be channeling a message directly from the Galactic Federation of Light. I'm excited to have you join us for this episode, so let's dive right in. Greetings, my dear friends, my soul family, all of my incredible support system here on this planet. I am so grateful for each and every one of you. And you know why? Because even if we have never met in person, I still feel the love and support that you're providing, not only for me, but also for the starseeds across the world. And it is so touching. It is so touching to know that many of us are now gathering. I'm seeing more and more people awaken to that part of themselves. And it's just a beautiful, beautiful thing. Speaking of our starseed selves, one of the biggest themes for the month of July, as you will see, revolves around all things galactic. It was so funny because I went to tune into the themes for the July update, and immediately what popped into my mind was a vision of a beautiful galactic star mother. And so I kind of dove into that, and more was explained, and I'll talk about that in just a moment. But before I do, if you are new, you might have never heard me say this before. If you've listened before, you know what I'm about to say. But I want to remind you that one of my biggest themes, one of my biggest goals is to help you feel empowered as a person, to help you understand that you have the ability to receive intuition, information, just like I do, just like any other channel. That is what you are wired to do as a soul. And sometimes we're just needing to remember how to do that on this planet. But that being said, it's extremely important for you as you consume other people's energy updates, not just mine. I know there are lots of lovely souls out there who are producing energy updates and tuning in on behalf of the collective. It's so important for you to go to spirit, to go within, whatever drives for you, and call in the themes for you personally. Because not only will some of these themes resonate, but you might have some unique themes that it's important for you to focus on. That being said, I do have 2 on-demand courses that will help you open and expand your clairs. And it's interesting because people will ask me, which one should I take first? Should I take the psychic activation course, or should I take the light language activation course? And you know what? Listen to your intuition, because I've actually told people one or the other, or felt that certain people should do one first and then the other. So I don't think it matters that much. They're very complementary to each other. But if you are looking to expand your ability to receive and tune in to those messages, I highly recommend you check out my website. You can just look up my offerings and you'll see that I've got those 2 courses available right now. So that being said, as we jump into the main part of this particular episode, I want to remind you that you want to stick around till the very, very end, because that's when the channeled message from the Galactic Federation of Light is going to come through. Now, the interesting thing about the Galactic Federation of Light is that I actually haven't tuned in with them for a while. What happened is I used to have monthly Galactic Federation of Light gatherings, and many of you attended those. In fact, in August of 2023, I had a Galactic Federation of Light seminar, and I'm actually creating those materials and putting them into a course, because Spirit says, okay, it's time. It's time. We want to spread this information. It was some incredible stuff that came through, and I'll talk about that in just a moment. But I haven't felt drawn to tune in, but that's one of the themes for this month. So stick around to the very end, and listen to that channeled message from the Galactic Federation of Light, because I'm sure it is going to be very, very interesting. All right, let's drop in with the first topic for July 2023. As I mentioned, I was meditating about the themes, and all of a sudden in my third eye popped in a visual of a galactic star, I would say star mother being. She looked, Arcturian, kind of a light blue. She had sort of a tiara or a device that was like on her head with a crystal in the middle. And I'm sure some of you have visualized these or seen images that others have done reflecting this. And in fact, I went ahead and decided to place in the thumbnail for this video, if you're watching it on YouTube, an image that seemed very close to what I saw so that you could get that for yourself. But when that dropped in, I was like, okay, just the image. It wasn't like the being was talking or anything. It was just a visual. And my guides immediately said, visitations. Visitations. One of the themes for July 2023 is visitations. Now, let me tell you why I think that is true. If you have not been listening over the last month to my podcast, I highly recommend you go back, because I know some of you are new. But what you will notice is that many, many different stargates are opening, and we are really ramping up as we approach the 7-7 gateway. Now, technically this year, it's not just 7-7. It's not just July 7th. It's 7-7-7 due to the fact that the numbers in 2023 also add up to 7. So it's a triple 7, which is an extremely powerful number. And this is the Syrian gateway. Now, what does that mean? Again, well, what that means is a lot of different things. You can tune in for yourself to understand what it means for you. But for the collective, galactic frequencies are going to be expanded and amplified around and near that date. I will actually be having a virtual gathering that I would love to have many of you attend. My friend Queenie from Reiki and Flow, she's the one co-hosting our Lemurian retreat. She and I will be co-creating, and we will be live in Hollywood at the Nest on a rooftop. But the awesome thing is, because of technology, we get to broadcast that virtual gathering around the world. And so we want as many starseeds to join us as possible. So check out the link below. You'll find out more about that event. But again, the 7-7 gateway is key to the galactic energies that are coming through. When I say galactic visitations, what does that mean? Well, for me, that means that you are going to experience more in your dream time and in those almost awake or almost asleep moments. So sometimes it's not going to happen blatantly, but sometimes it does. Sometimes there'll be maybe a sign. Maybe you'll look up and you'll see a cloud that you get a ping and you're like, ooh, that's not a cloud. Because most of the ships are cloaked. Most of them are. It's just because we still hold lots and lots of programs that are fear-based. And so they're being very kind. And although they are very near and there are lots of ships all over the place, most of them are traveling with a cloak or having a frequency that's not easily interpreted by us visually. So along with the theme of the galactic visitations, the second theme revolves around starseed origins and remembrance. Okay? When you begin to tune in and your frequency shifts to be able to really receive the wavelengths and the vibrations of our galactic families, our star families, you are going to then have things wake up inside your mind. In fact, it's funny because I say the word wake up, but my guides are always like, we don't really like the word awaken asleep. Let me put it this way. We are having veils lifted. we are simply able to tune into a new radio station. Okay. There's a new channel, literally, like as if you were flipping through the TV and flipping through channels. You're going to be flipping through the channels, and all of a sudden a new channel is going to be in your mind. And you're going to be like, wait, I didn't hear that voice before, or I didn't feel that before, or I didn't get that ringing in my ear before. And that is your starseed self coming online. Literally. You can see it that way. It's going to be beautiful. Intention is so important with this, my friends. Some of you might say, well, I don't know how to do that, or I don't understand, or let me give you a few tips. And I will be publishing an episode later this month that revolves around this in more depth, okay? But what my guides have told me, and it was funny because earlier this month, I actually had an experience where I was on a Instagram, and this person was saying, it doesn't really matter. She's very grounded. She's a psychic and a medium. And she was saying, it doesn't really matter. Who cares about your starseed origins? Because a lot of people do obsess about that. A lot of people are like, what are they? What are they? What are they? And they like obsess about it to a point that maybe isn't healthy for their everyday life. And they obsess about it to a point where they neglect their body, their relationships, their job, whatever it is, to help them live a life on this planet, which is where they are now. They're not in the stars right now. So there were some things I agreed with and some things I maybe didn't agree totally with that she said. But the overall vibe that I want to remind you is, if you are not creating a stable foundation in your everyday life, if your relationships are a mess, if your way of sustaining yourself and supporting yourself is kind of messy, if you don't have a stable place to live, even if it's not the same place, but if it's up in the air all the time, if you don't have those root-centered things going on, you're not going to be able to download as high of frequencies. Do you want to know why? Because there will be massive imbalance. For as high as you go, you need to go low as well. As up and out and galactic as you are, you need to ground. All right? So that's just a little reminder, okay? Do not neglect those things. As for those of you who want a little bit more insight, I am not able to do one-on-one sessions at the moment to do starseed origin readings, or I don't necessarily like to call them that because usually your origins are multi-dimensional. But I like to say whichever star family is closest to you right now and would like to connect. I'm not able to do one-on-one live sessions, but let me tell you what I did decide to do. I do have a limited number of pre-recorded, personalized starseed readings. So you are going to send me your info, and I will create a recording with a reading and light language to enlighten you and help you understand a little bit more about your starseed origins. Not only that, but my readings are not just informational, they're activating. And so that is available for you as a resource. In addition, there are many other people, many other amazing light workers out there who do these on a regular basis. And because my capacity isn't such that I can serve all of you, I want to remind you that there are lots of other people out there. So look it up. They come highly recommended. You can see they have testimonials. If I can think of any off the top of my head, I'll also pop them into the comment section, the notes of the podcast episode, okay? But trust your own intuition too. Trust your own intuition. Okay, before we shift into the second two themes for July 2023, I'm going to pop in here with a little commercial break. I want to take a moment and remind you that we have a beautiful community of Lemurian starseeds forming in my Golden Lemurian portal, which I am co-creating with my friend Queenie of Reiki and Flow. Many of us are being called to awaken to our Lemurian roots. Now, this is absolutely connected to the galactic. This portal that we've created is almost 1,000 souls strong. We have a portal there with so many free resources for you. Yes, they are free. We have been guided to provide these to the collective, and we are just amplifying what we have. We're going to start bringing on guests. We're going to have frequent gatherings. There's a schedule there that you can take a look at. Make sure you check out the link below and join that portal. We do pop-up gathering. I mean, we've been doing some fun things. There's a Facebook group as well. I'm now on Facebook for those of you who prefer to use Facebook. I'm now on Facebook. There's a Golden Lemuria portal there, community, I should say. And if you're part of the Golden Lemuria portal, then you can be part of this Facebook community, which is nice because you can interact a little differently. All of this is leading up to our new Golden Age of Lemuria conference. It's a retreat-style conference in Kauai, Hawaii. And we are so blessed to have some incredible presenters that you can find out more about in the portal. And just, oh my goodness, I can't even tell you how every step of the way we've been led and guided. Now, if you can't make it there in person, listen carefully. We'd love to have you in person. There's going to be some powerful activations for those who are able to attend in person. But if you can't make it there in person, there are virtual tickets. There are virtual tickets for all of the different segments of the conference. We'll be doing co-channeling circles, and we'll be doing activations, and it's just going to be so powerful. So I want to remind you about that. Now, on the heels, I'm doing like a world tour in the fall, because on the heels of that, I have my Healing the Inner Star Child workshop with my incredible friend and healer, Jen Peters from New Zealand. So if you are in Australia, New Zealand, or you've ever wanted to go to New Zealand, we have a beautiful venue at the Life Center. They have this garden with these giant crystals that are so activating, and the whole space is just so beautiful and so aligned with what we're doing. We have a limited number of in-person tickets. It's a 2-day workshop, but we also have virtual tickets and some fun opportunities to do a meet and greet with Jen and I. So there's some, like, so many wonderful things in the works, my friends. One of my favorite things about these opportunities is that we get to co-create in person. There's something about being in the physical realm here, okay? And so it's just been a thrill to have the opportunity to provide these. And I'm excited to meet with so many of you. All right, that's the end of the commercial break. I love you all so much. Thank you so much for being here. Let's move into the third and fourth. Let's say the third and fourth topics. These are the final topics. And then remember, I'll be bringing in a channeled message from the Galactic Federation of Light. Number 4 is totally connected to the whole galactic vibe. What I've been noticing in many different sessions, in gatherings, is that some beings who typically connect with us more like their earth self, or, maybe a little bit above their earth frequency, they're coming in a very different galactic frequency. So in our solstice gathering that we did on the 21st of June, which you can actually access the playback of that, we connected with some multidimensional versions of, like, White Buffalo Calf Women came through. In some of my gatherings lately, they've been coming in as more galactic, a different frequency. I had some sessions where the angelics were coming in at a different frequency. And so it was so cool to be able to know and understand that they're saying, hey, we're not going to come through to you as we normally do. For those of you who are channelers and listening to this, those of you who have your third eye pretty well attuned and you have your light language attuned, you will notice you will be seeing different visuals as they walk forward, as they come forward. You will be seeing, hearing, and transmitting different light language, your own self, because we are all receiving more of these galactic frequencies due to the stargates that are opening. If you have not had the opportunity to listen to my June Galactic Family of Light gathering, it was an incredible activation connected to what I just said. So take a look at that. The link is below. It was literally attuning our bodies and opening our personal stargates in a really, really incredible way. Now, the fourth theme for July 2023 is actually connected to the golden age of Avalon, the energies of Avalon. Some of you remember that a few months back, I offered an Avalon group past life regression that is available as a playback. But for many people who attended, it was very powerful. And let me tell you why. We have very strong connections coming forward with Avalon, Lemuria, and Atlantis. Some of us all three, some of us one or two. But either way, those of you with whom Avalon resonates deeply, I want you to know, be on the lookout for additional downloads and additional connections to Avalon. Start reading up on it. There are people who I've brought through the Avalon energies and they're like, I don't know much about Avalon. So if you get a ping as you're listening to this, then it might be necessary for you to start exploring. A lot of people will say, well, where do I look? Okay, literally, first of all, I just check out the internet. Look up mythology around Avalon. What is Avalon? And you'll just get the basics. And just ask Spirit, hey, lead me to the websites that I need, to better understand all of these things. Because even me, I'm still learning. I'm still learning and I'm still receiving. I channel some of the different beings coming through, and I did in that Remembering Avalon past life regression. But it's important for you to kind of get that foundational information. That being said, I have actually transitioned with my offerings of my monthly gatherings, and I am now including a monthly Remembering Avalon gathering. Avalon is also very connected to Andromedan energy. So if you're an Andromedan starseed, Avalon will most likely resonate with you. You can check out more about that gathering below, but it is going to occur every month. For those of you who are interested in joining us at all of our gatherings or accessing all of those gatherings, remember, I have now an all-access pass, which essentially gives you a library, whether you attend live or listen to the playbacks, of all of the different things coming through. And I truly feel that it's helping people calibrate through all these ascension waves and all these ups and downs that are coming through. My intention with these gatherings is to provide an anchor. So for those of you who are interested in that all-access pass, you can find that right on my website or through the link below. Now, we are going to transition into our message from the Galactic Federation of Light. I want you to take a nice deep breath. Just receive what you need, release what you don't. Make a little space, make a little room for what's going to drop in for you today with this transmission. And I highly recommend that you come into almost a meditative state where you can sit comfortably or lie comfortably. And I'm just going to drop in with this music and bring through our beautiful Galactic Federation of Light, soul family, and guides. Dear ones, we come to you as ninth density Arcturians. And yes, we come on behalf of the Galactic Federation of Light, as you call it, a collective of higher density light beings extremely invested in your planet. We have been connected since the beginnings of this beautiful Gaia, and we are truly thrilled that you would call upon us to bring through a message to assist in this collective and planetary ascension, this almost miraculous event that is taking place even as we speak. We remind you that one of the greatest shifts that occurred happened in your linear time in the year 2012, when the collective chose a specific timeline of ascension, and we were overjoyed, honoring their free will, but knowing that this would be such a beautiful path. Since that time, we have amplified and expanded our involvement and our assistance in alignment with the needs and desires of those starseeds incarnated on Gaia. Dear ones, we remind you that we are at your service. We are here to help. We remind you that as you connect more with us, we are absolutely willing and ready to amplify and to increase the amount of grid work that is taking place on Gaia, albeit in a way that is gentle. For those of you who wander the earth as grid workers, either in the physical or astrally, you may desire to call upon us more frequently. And although we who currently speak to you could be known as ninth density Arcturians, there are many star beings from many different places that form part of our ranks. And you may choose to reach out to whichever particular beings of light resonate with you personally. At this time, we invite you to allow us to project into your third eye or claircognizance images and words. These images and words are designed to assist you to see the big picture, to see the finished product. What is it that we are seeking to co-create? As you zoom out and gain this perspective, we feel that your body and your mind and your heart may be more at ease. For there are many of you who are still learning how to best regulate your nervous system in particular, learning how to transition out of the fight or flight mode that has controlled predominantly a great deal of the psyche of the collective for many thousands of years. As you transition from a survival frequency into the flow and ease of ascension, expansion, you will notice you might feel something is wrong. You might feel, what is going on? Because that underlying anxiousness is no longer there. And some of you might desire to call it in again. But in spite of the pull to do so, we encourage you to, quote unquote, be bored, to sit in stillness, to focus on the being of this experience rather than just the doing. And as we have worked with humankind over many millennia, what we have found is that those who are most connected to the natural world, to the wonders of nature, they are the most aligned and most surrendered to the shift in frequency and the quote-unquote ascension of Gaia. And what you might not realize is that in attuning yourself more to nature, in spending time outside, grounding, connecting with plants and animals and the sky and the rocks, the rivers and the lakes and the oceans, you will also be able to more easily access messages from your star brothers and sisters, and from us here in the Galactic Federation of Light. There is much more in store as you begin to calibrate. And our intentions for inviting you to calibrate and bringing your nervous system into a more relaxed state is because we desire to assist you to become more organized so that you can bring to pass the blueprints which many of you designed of the 5D Earth, so that you can carry out those tasks which you contracted to do before coming to this planet in this timeline. Before we organize and execute the blueprint, we must calibrate. And so, you are in a season of calibration, and you are also in a season of gathering. And as you gather with those who resonate at a similar frequency, other 5D architects, you will begin to understand what each of your purposes are, and you will begin to take action. You will begin to build communities, gathering places, both virtually and physically. And you will begin to feel empowered as starseeds. And you will begin to release programs of disempowerment, of despair, of hopelessness. And you will begin to see that the new earth is just around the corner. In fact, you will begin to see that it is already here. Dear ones, what we say may seem difficult to fully comprehend, but we invite you to trust not only us, trust the frequency that your soul is emanating, trust that inner wisdom and that resonance within the depths of your being as you listen to our words. For it does not serve us as the Galactic Federation of Light if those who are part of the ground crew are hopeless or discouraged. It serves us to help you see that you have the power to make change. And so we invite you to reflect upon our message, to listen more than once potentially, and to see what drops in. We are so grateful for you, dear ones. And we offer you this message in hope and love. Farewell. This is JJ. Just allowing yourself to take some deep breaths as we release that message and bring it to completion within our bodies. And maybe potentially hold space to continue to integrate. Thank you so much for joining me today. And I am so grateful for all of you. Just as the Arcturian said, I also am so thankful for you. I want you to know that you are here for a reason, and your presence on this planet makes a difference. And any programs or beliefs connected to unworthiness are ready to be released, and you can do that very easily through intention. It's time to step into your full power. It's time, and you are ready, my friends. You are ready. As we enter this month, I am excited to be able to co-create with you, and I would love to invite you to join me in any way, shape, or form that you choose to do that. As always, I am sending you so much love and reminding you that I am you and you are me and we are we. Until next time.